to the Wager Makers Podcast with Web and Smitt.
Brick by brick, baby. I'm freaking out, Web.
I was told there'd be no man. Stupidity's going to be an asset. What a bunch of crybabies.
Hello, my name is Steve Smith, and this is Rob Weber. Say hey, Web.
Hello. What's up, Smitt?
What up, buddy? I'm Smitt, that's Webb, and we are the Wager Makers, and this is the Wager Maker Podcast. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going into NFL Week 3. SEC kicks off this week. We had a good week in NFL last week, a so-so week in college football, up and down a little bit. Webb, this is Wager Maker Podcast number 63. I told my wife that today. She couldn't believe we've done 63
Shocker.
of these things so far.
Yeah. A lot of time on our hands.
Yeah.
This one came to me fairly easy too. 63. First thing I thought was Gene Upshaw. I see him in those old Raider, those NFL films thing, same thing with like Otis Sis Trunk with the shit coming off, the steam coming off his head. But I was one of my all-time favorites. Leroy Selman is going to get my vote for number 63 from the Tampa Bay Bucks, from the orange crazy uniforms back in the day. I think he was probably their only real player back. They had Steve DeBerg and they had James Wilder, I think, for a while running back. So he gets my votes. Leroy Selman, badass motherfucker.
Cool. Gene Upshaw, obviously, all her whole time growing up was kind of like the head of the Players Association in the NFL, Hall of Famer with the old Oakland Raiders teams, the old, John Madden NFL Raiders teams, Kenny Stabler, stuff like that. He was a guard, Hall of Fame guard for the Raiders, but also in the navy blue and old gold, the Freehold, New Jersey, there was a famous number 63 that played back in the day. The Mohawk fucking maniac day. Number 63, Steve Smith. Maybe I'll pop a picture, an old Mohawk picture up there.
I didn't know there was 63. Wow.
Soon. So
there you go. Yeah, pop it up there with the Mohawk. Yeah.
So moving along, we had a big week. We had a good week last week.
Man.
We have a rough first week in the NFL right now in Sports Watch Monitor. We are number 11 out of 62 teams in the NFL in NFL picks right now. We're not doing too good in the college so far. It's only a couple weeks in. I recommend everybody just these early college games, the SEC with the COVID, all that stuff, and not too much information on the injuries and who's going to be sitting out and all that stuff. Just take it light. I'm not saying don't play. I'm just saying take it light early on.
Entertainment purposes only.
Right. But I feel like we're starting to see some trends in the NFL. It doesn't take long, a couple weeks before we kind of see who's kind of pretenders, who's contenders. But obviously, every week in the NFL is a toss-up. Anybody can be beat. If ever that was true these last few years, it's just true now. Any given Sunday, that is absolutely true.
Absolutely. I mean, even look at teams like, Mahomes and them, they were down, and even, the flavor of the day is Baltimore, and they look, they did cover, they could beat them pretty good, but they haven't played anybody yet. So we'll see what's going on. I think that Monday night one's pretty easy. Who do we have? The Raiders in the over came in pretty easy. That was one of the simple ones. There was some experience playing in that one.
Was the one that put us, just speaking of the Raiders Saints, we went against the Saints, took the home dog on Monday night, opening up the stadium. That's the one that set us apart from the Chicks last week. We were 4-1. The Chicks went 3-2.
Beat the Chicks.
Yeah. Whew.
There you go.
This
cutlets, baby.
In golf, back a few years back, that golfer, the women golfer, Annika Sorenstam, got to play in a men's tournament, and they asked Phil Mickelson, well, how do you think she'll do? And I remember he said something like, well, I think she's great. She'll probably, go 12 or 13 under or something like that. And they said, well, how do you think you'll do? And he said, I hope I do 14. I hope I go 14.
That's right. Just beat one, win by one, baby.
Right.
Win by one.
Chicks. We got to beat the Chicks every week, no doubt. So,
that's right. Just by one.
Chicks have been respectable, 3-2 each of the last 2 weeks in the nationally televised games. We had to go 4-1 to beat them this week. So
there you go. Hey, that's they ain't losing money.
Yeah, it started off bad Thursday night. The Chicks had the Browns, and
the
Chicks had the Bengals. The Chicks had the Bengals. We were on the Browns, and they got the backdoor cover.
Cover. Yeah, that was meaningless. I was pissed.
Yeah. So Joe Burrow putting up the ball 60 sometimes. 300 some yards, couple touchdowns, putting up numbers. Our boy Minshew, Dirk Diggler, they lost this week, a tough game to Tennessee, but
he's the man.
He's putting up crazy numbers, dude. Crazy numbers. And they play Thursday night. It'd be interesting to see. It'd be hard for me to go against him. Webb, his numbers, right? 49 of 65 for 512 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. You don't need to be a expert.
Right.
That's
right.
Like 66%, 75% completion rate, and 3-to-1 in touchdown to interception ratio. Dirk Liggler's playing some ball.
And he's doing it with smoke and mirrors. I don't even know who's catching the balls at that rookie from Colorado, Chenault or whatever, Chenault. And I don't know who he's doing. He's got the running backs and UDFA, undrafted free agent. So good for him, man. We've been fans of his since he hopped on. We're rooting for him. He fucked me game that week 1 in the Survivor, but you touch the fire, you're going to get burned. You go against Dirk Diggler, that's what happens.
Speaking of Survivor, Webb, in the Wager Maker Survivor pool, down to 9 people. Started out with about 20. Down to 9. Had a couple close calls for people this week. Tennessee almost got knocked off in their game. And like you mentioned, Kansas City almost got knocked off. Those two teams would have knocked off a bunch, but they both came back and won. Wasn't a big week for Survivor as far as a bunch of big chunks getting knocked off or anything like that.
Yeah, it wasn't that big favorite, getting beat. But it gets hard. This week is tough. Next week I took a peek, not trying to get ahead of myself, but it's tough too. Next couple weeks.
Right. I think I'm going Arizona and Indy for me this week are my two teams I'm looking at. Probably taking Arizona host Detroit and Indianapolis host the Jets. You always got to look at who's playing the Jets. I don't necessarily like Indy to cover, but anybody that's playing the Jets is all right with me.
I'm not definitely on Indy. I took Indy in 1. I am not. I looked at the Chargers. I know they're playing the Panthers. Herbert looked good, but Carolina's defense sucks, and without McCaffrey, I don't know what they're going to do. But that was a little iffy with the quarterback. Arizona scares me as well. I actually took the Buccaneers in my other one. They're in Denver. Denver's got no lot. I think they just signed Blake Bortles. I don't know if he's going to play. And then I did look at this. No, I didn't look at the Steelers. That was last week. Let me see. I did another one. I think I picked 3 different teams. Niners looked interesting, but they're so beat up at the Giants. No Saquon that crushes them. That's a tough game. That Minnesota and Tennessee too. I don't know the third one I picked. I'll have to go back through the thing. I think I took Indy twice. That's what I did. I took Indy twice, and the Buccaneers once in my 3 picks.
Cool. And then we also have, don't forget, guys, make sure you get your picks in. We had a few people with this, with the college football pick'em. A handful of people didn't get their picks in. There's still time. It only started last week. So at worst, you're down by 6 picks. It's the whole season. You pick 10 each week. It's not too late to get in. That's at, runyourpool.com. If you need any information, you let us know and we'll get you in on that. But for the ones that are already signed, make sure you get your picks in. We had like 20 people sign up. Not everybody got their picks in. So those 9 people have a head start. Speaking of which, Webb, did you notice who's on top in the Wager Makers pick'em?
Yeah, it's early, like you said. It's early.
It's early. Try and tell people to take points. Last week, tried to say take points. Our college team split, but somehow Smitt goes 6-3. 6-3. I guess there was one game that didn't get played or pushed or something like that. But 6-3. I'm sitting at top of the Wager Makers college football pick'em.
I reached out to Gary Frangione, a listener friend of ours. He's in it. I just made sure he's Rev G, I think, is his entry. But there's like I said, even if everyone gets in, 20 people, someone's getting $300 come December. So hop in there. It's like you're only 1 week behind. Smith's leading the pack with 6 wins, so you can. You can make it up, especially the way some of these games are going. So get in there, get your picks in, and like I said, it's $300. Only $300, but someone is getting guaranteed. Someone's getting $300.
$300. So we got. I'm on top 6-3. Angry Wave. I'm not sure who Angry Wave is. They're 6-4. Lil Saint the Goat. That's my boy Chris Lawrence over there, the rapper over there. He's 6-4. The intern, Nick Perone, is 6-4. Rev G, your boy, was 4-5 after week 1. Webb is 4-5. Mike Reed is 4-6. And Scott Wheatley, our horse racing buddy, he's not doing too hot. He's at 2-7. But it's only week 1. It's only week 1.
I mean, it's tough too because those fucking games they get yanked off the board from COVID. So I think that just happened here again. I don't know if I stayed away from the ND game. I think, but that game got rescheduled for the 12th.
Notre Dame Wake Forest got rescheduled.
Yeah, the 12th, December 12th.
Yep. So moving on. Webb, you mentioned let's see, where are we at? Yeah. So anyway, I'm number one. You mentioned Herbert for the Chargers. So I followed this close. And did you see the news today that came out about what actually happened with Tyrod Taylor and all that?
Yeah, the team doctor punctured his lung, man. That's crazy. He was giving him an injection and stuck him in the lung. That's nuts.
Unbelievable. I watched that close. I got Tyrod Taylor in my fantasy league. He wasn't going to start or anything, but he's kind of a dual threat guy. So I got him on my bench, ready to come in. But I would have been pissed if I had him starting in my fantasy game that week, and all of a sudden nobody knew Herbert was going to run out. Well, you wouldn't have known.
Yeah, that was like literally, minutes. Like he was getting that pain-killing injection, like literally walking out the tunnel, to take warm-ups. That was, 10 minutes fit. No one would have known that. So yeah, that was crazy. But I thought that was a good pick by them, good draft pick, and I do like Taylor in the spot he's in. Tyrod is the kind of mentor I'm in, but I don't know. Let's see what happens this week. They do have a winnable game. Like I said, I consider taking them in the in their Survivor. Who they play? I'm trying to see again. They're favored. Oh, the Panthers. Yeah, they're favored by 5.5, or is that 6.5 points? So that's a big favorite for.
Yeah, I don't know. Herbert looked pretty damn good in his first game, but I don't know if I'm ready to go laying a touchdown to another NFL team with.
I'm just saying, he's getting some respect. And they're missing Derwin James is out, so it's not like they're at full strength, and So that's interesting. I'm rooting for him. I liked him. I thought he did a good thing staying in school for that senior year, and I think he's a little underrated in terms of his arm strength and stuff like that.
Right. So, Webb, how man, it couldn't have been better for us this week. We had nothing makes me happier, Webb, other than the Saints winning, is to see the Falcons lose. But the only thing better than that is to have taken them and they lose and cover the point spread. But they lose after winning by scores of 20-0, 29-10, and even 29-14 with only 5 minutes. And I know you're happy because your boys got the win out of this there. Yeah.
That was a miracle. I was fucking, you can imagine I was cursing the world there for a while. Just, same old type thing. But at least they showed that they stayed in the game and they can win one of these crazy games. I don't know what was going on in terms of Hayden Hurst, and I even think Julio Jones was on that play. No one jumped on the ball, just run up and grab it. But hey, better be lucky than good every fucking day of the week. So we'll take it 1-1. Tough game this week. Cowboys are a mash unit. They have everybody banged up. Starting corner, Cheeto Awuzie just went down in practice. He's a hamstring. So we'll see, but we'll take it 1-1 in that division right now against a couple of good teams. The Rams showed well again. They look pretty good, man. Yep. So, I'll take it. We'll see what happens this week, but it was one of those wins I shaking my head. I don't know, a lot of work to be done, but we'll take the W.
That onside kick was ridiculous, man. It just kept trickling. But, dude, somebody jump on the ball. It doesn't have to go 10 yards. Just they NFL players, I don't know. Do NFL players watch football?
Yeah, I don't know if they know the rules.
Have they watched football, or they've been playing video games the whole life? I don't know. It's different.
All right.
Different now. So
that's what I'm saying. Julio Jones was out there right by the ball, and so was Hayden Hurst. Those are two starting. Julio Jones, the best receiver in football. Hayden Hurst is a fringe all-star, all-pro. So I don't know. And it was, I don't know if you saw 29 on the Cowboys. Goodwin, C.J. Goodwin, like he was just crawling with the ball, and as soon as it hit that yard line, he jumped on it. So he was completely aware of what was going on versus the other guys not knowing shit. And Dan Quinn sucks. He's a shit coach. I don't care how many wins they get. He's a shit coach.
It never gets old for me, brother. 28-3 never gets old.
You guys, as a Falcons fan, you got a pretty good team there, man. So you got to be real pissed off if you're a Falcon. They got received that dude Gage is even good. Forget Ridley and Julio. And then plus Gurley. You got first round draft picks the past couple of years on that offensive line. So I don't know.
Oh, well, fuck them. It's the Falcons. That's how I feel about it.
Hey, that's right. They're done.
NFL, bro. Now your team's 1-1, like not a care in the world. If they were 0-2, they'd be burning down fucking buildings there in Dallas right now.
And they're tied for first, 1-1 with the Redskins, with the Washington football team. Everyone else is 0-2. And you got Carson Wentz being booed by Twitter, by fake pumped in noise.
Right. Typical Philly. They had pumped in. Is that true? They had pumped in booze on the. I think on the
fans. There's no fans.
Shit.
There are no fans.
So yeah. Weekend started out a little rough. We had that lost on Thursday night, and then college. I took Tulane I
was counting that money.
I mentioned on the show that I like Navy. You kind of talked me out of it, so I went Saturday morning. I had nothing to do for the early game, so I'm like, I'll put a little money on Tulane. What the hell? And they were blowing them out. I'm like, oh, this is. I stopped watching, and then all of a sudden I turned the game on later on, and Tulane is like fighting for their life and losing and everything.
That was embarrassing. I mean, that was 24-0, and then they lost. What is it? I don't know, some 34. And then that team looked inept. The midshipmen early on, and what happened when the dude started throwing the ball? They did completely out of character, and that's what changed the whole game. The dude was throwing the ball like he was, I don't know, fucking Brett Favre or something.
Just a couple of big plays. When you're busted up against the run and you hit a pass with Navy, it's just gone. And then they had a couple of those Navy fullback runs that just went up the middle for 50 yards. Next thing you know, they're back in the game. So we had that game. I think it was. Was that Saturday night or was that Thursday or Friday night? The Louisville and Miami.
Yeah, there was nothing. It's all Saturday night. There's nothing. No college, only Saturday.
Right. So that was one of my games. I really liked Louisville. Learn this about Louisville. They got speed all over the fucking place, but they can't push the real teams around in the trenches. So they were able to make some plays outside, but they weren't. But Miami was too good for them in the trenches, and their quarterback made enough plays.
I knew we were dead. I checked the game. We came back from dinner. It was actually my birthday. We came back from dinner, and I looked I was going to put some more on it because we get lost. I'm like, and they were getting. I think we started laying. We were laying points, weren't we? And then by the time I turned it on, Louisville. Before I went to get it, right before game time, Louisville was like +3. I'm like, we're dead. We're done. We're done.
Right. At least we covered ourselves at halftime. We hedged a little bit and got on Louisville at half and made some of the money back that we were going to lose in the other game. But they got some speed, man. They're going to be able to beat teams that aren't the best and blow them out, but they're not going to be able to play with real teams. And Miami, it remains to be seen. They play Florida State this week. It remains to be seen.
But that's no game either. I mean, that guy, I'll give De'Aaron King. I mean, he has thrown 50 touchdowns and rushed for 50 touchdowns in all these years. So he's done, at Houston. So he's doing something. It's not the worst competition, but certainly not the best. But he does have some type of skill, certainly for the college level. Right. And then we had our other game got canceled. That was our big one. I know, was it Baylor or whatever? So we got Baylor. COVID. That was our big one. That was that we lost on that we didn't get a chance to play on. So that's forced our hand a little bit on that Miami game. So we did reach. So
moved into Sunday, had some pretty good picks. Like I said, we did good enough to move up to number 11 in sportswatchmonitor.com's out of 62 handicappers. We're right now number 11. After last year, we were probably way down the bottom. So let's keep the momentum rolling. I told you I had a few games last week that I really liked going into the week. I got a few. I was surprised at how bad I really liked the Vikings this week. I was really surprised at how, man, they're bad.
Right.
Or, I don't know to get the shit beat out of them again this week to Indy. That was bad. Moving into Sunday night, we needed to go the last two games of the week and win to beat the Chicks. The Chicks had Patriots and the Chicks had the Saints. So we had to win Sunday night and Monday night to go 4-1 on the prime time games, and we were able to do it. And that Sunday night game was really good. I was surprised that Seattle was one of my better games of the week as well. But man, Cam Newton, dude, they played well. I thought they played really well.
The thing with him, I mean, he's completing passes at a ridiculous rate, which is, again, way atypical. Maybe that injury did help him. Maybe it calmed him down or did something with his footwork or whatever. Maybe the time off, if he could just stand there or whatever. But if he can click on even 60% of his passes, he becomes a real serious weapon. And especially, with Belichick, and they're kind of doing it with mirrors too, just a crazy game plan. They technically probably should have won that game, even though they ended up losing and not covering. But that thing with Edelman, and then it was a good game. It was a great game, and that's the difference between that's like we said, NFL. That's a difference. That's a playoff team, and then getting to the playoffs at 10-6, or you're 9-7, and then you're out. So that's we'll see what happens this week.
Russell Wilson playing out of his mind right now.
Ridiculous. Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, I mean he's the front runner for the MVP, I would say at this point.
Everybody talks about Lamar Jackson and obviously Mahomes, but man, this Russell Wilson, he's like in his prime. It seems like he's in his prime right now. He sees everything. He makes deep throws. He makes short throws. When you think you got him, he makes a run.
He's like a magician.
He does. Yeah. He really takes that team.
And he'll run left. he runs left and throws right, like on a dime. It's crazy. So, I mean, I thought it speaks to having the same offense for X amount of years. I mean, he could do that shit in his sleep with his eyes closed. That's why you're seeing some of these guys with the new coaches too, like Brady struggling a little bit. It's hard to come into a new offense, learn something new.
Right. Moving on. Webb, you guys up there in New York, they want us to talk about them so bad. They give us shit all the time. Nick Perone, everybody. Jets, Giants. Why don't you guys ever talk about them? Jets, Giants. Dude, you guys, they stink. Y'all stink. Like, let me ask you this. So they got the young quarterback up there for the Jets. They got the young quarterback up there for the Giants. Last week we talked a little bit about who you'd rather have. Which one of these teams is just tanking so they can get the kid from Clemson at this point?
Lawrence. Yeah, tank for Lawrence. Yep. I mean, you can't blame the Giants when the dude got hurt, but the Jets are just. I blame the Jets ownership. That's funny. I work with the dude who's a Jets fan. He goes, every week I tell my wife, it's an embarrassment. This is the worst game they've ever played. It just gets. And he goes, my wife just looks at me and tells me I'm an asshole because I say the same thing every week. It just gets worse and worse. Right. And the Giants just don't have it. Again, I don't know what they think they're doing either. There's no talent on the team. Well, Barkley's talented, but I don't know what's. The quarterback is a reach, I thought, and that's proven to be because he does have a couple decent receivers. They have done some stuff on the offensive line, but they got no one on defense. And the Jets just it's ponderous. What's going on there? I mean, but they are. I guess. I mean, they're leading. They're the clubhouse leader for the number one pick. I think the Jets for sure. But the Giants without Saquon is going to give them a run for their money now.
They're going to have a run for their money. Yeah, they're going to have it's going to be exciting. Hey, it's week 2 is in the books, and it's going to be a real exciting draft for the New York.
That's what you're right. You can't wait till April, Jets and Giant fans. There you go. That? Talk about how
you guys are still dealing with the COVID up there, with this shit. Like everybody else is out of COVID. Right. Watching football. You guys are right back into no sports.
They're going to be pissed off when their team wins. That's what they got to start worrying. Don't win. Just don't win. Right. It'll be interesting, too, to see these teams fuck up the draft if they get the number one pick. Like, we already have a quarterback.
Right. Okay. We have a quarterback. Sam Darnold hasn't done it 3 years in.
Sticky dimes. Yeah. From Duke.
And, I mean, the Niners with the Jets the other day, man, they just jumped on him. I think first play of the game, Mostert ran the ball 70 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, I think it was 75 yards. Yeah. First play of the game.
Man, San Francisco's got dudes dropping like flies. Mostert went down. Garoppolo went down. Bosa, Solomon, the other defensive lineman went down.
His name is already on the defensive back from the Legion of Booms already. Sherman's already on the IR. I think that if there's one theme to this season, it's injury. Everyone is hurt. Cowboys are decimated. You saw the Saints miss Michael Thomas. Even the Raiders, their number one receiver's out. Jets have injuries, obviously. Saquon Barkley went down, and these are big time players too that are going down. Bosa, Saquon, Le'Veon Bell is out, so it's these are prime time guys. It's that I think I don't know if that's due to no preseason games or this kind of funky year, but it's
most of those guys, the real high end guys, they probably wouldn't have played but a handful of snaps in the preseason.
True,
anyway,
true,
but
true.
Even some talk of the Niners were really complaining about the MetLife, the playing surface there at MetLife Stadium, and now they have to go back. Where do they go back and play the Giants?
Yeah,
at the same field this week.
Field, yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Right.
I mean, and Garoppolo, is he? I don't know if he's back or is he? I think he's still. I think he may play, but that's a team. What are they, 1-1 now? And they will only be 1-1 since they played the Jets. So that's a team that's going to be hurt. And they're going to need this game. Yeah, they're back in the Giants this week. Yeah, wow.
Right, play the same field. Everybody says this field sucks. Right back to the same.
Come back. You just lost 3 of your top players.
Right. So let's see. Moving on, we'll get to the picks in a minute. Want to remind everybody about, we talked about our Survivor pool and our Pick'em pool. Don't forget about Thrive Fantasy. The promo code is WagerMakers. Week 3 is upon us. We have another week of over $30,000 in guaranteed prizes between all our NFL contests and the PGA tomorrow. Also, in case you missed it, new users that make their first deposit will receive an instant match up to $50, but that's regular. But then also you get a full match with the WagerMakers promo code too. So get on there, have some fun, make some picks.
That's great. I mean, it's one day and it's one man, one thing. It's an easy enough scenario, easy enough platform to handle everything. So what's going on with Louisiana? I heard they're trying to get, maybe we can get we could start doing it down there if they pass this law, right?
Yeah, so on the ballot coming up in November, obviously there's a pretty big election coming up in there in November.
Right.
But on the ballot, way down the bottom of the ballot, everybody in Louisiana, if you're out there, take a look at this. It's good. Let the shit get regulated. Get some tax money for the city and the state. There's way down the bottom of the ballot. Do you want legalized sports betting?
Why not? There is no reason not to have.
Why do you say no? What do you know? If some dude's got, the only way that you would say no is if you think all these people have gambling problems, but they're going to gamble anyway.
Yeah, that's right. You're going to gamble illegally. Exactly.
It's like saying, we're going to make drugs illegal.
It's like doing drugs. Right. And I can tell you, New Jersey legalized the sports game. Nothing has changed. You couldn't tell that the sun still comes up. We still pay taxes. The state is still here. The shitty infrastructure that we have, it hasn't gotten any worse, believe it or not. I don't know if it's gotten any better. I don't know where we're supposed to see the reaping the benefits of the money, but they say they're making all this money off it. But nothing's happened. So vote for it. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's
all the way at the bottom of the ballot. Act 215, 2020, PW sports wagering, authorized sports wagering activities. Yes or no? Hit the yes.
Yep.
I don't care. I don't get involved in politics. Vote for whoever you want. But this is one we should all be getting behind.
Right. Get behind. No doubt.
So, and then speaking of Louisiana, Webb, so we moved into Monday night. We actually took the Raiders, took the home dog, and opening a brand new stadium up there. Drew Brees, Webb.
I told you. He's done, man. Put a fork in him. Garjul called me right before game time. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm on the other way, brother."
Yep.
So
he told me, "You getting on this?" I was like, "Nope."
Yeah.
We're on the other. We're on the other. Webb. So it's kind of sad because this shit is not going to end well for Drew Brees. And I'm going to elaborate a little bit. Okay. We've mentioned the last 2 years probably that he can't really hit the deep ball, right? So it's become more and more apparent. So they had a graphic come up the other night, and they showed the shortest. Let's see what this says. The shortest average pass yards, okay, over the last 15 seasons, and Brett Favre in 2009 was 4.02 average yards per pass in the air. And that was when, he was on Minnesota, at the very end.
Right. That was even after the Jets.
Right. And then right behind that is Drew Brees in 2020 after 2 games at 4.82. Now, what happens is, Webb, when you don't go deep ever, okay, the defense doesn't have to play.
Right, you're shortening the field.
You can cheat up,
of course.
Short passes, you can't run the ball because everybody's cheating up because they know they're not going to go over the top.
They can't beat you, right?
The Saints had a great offense to hit all these dunking dunks, but they could also, every once in a while, you just have a long pass play for a touchdown.
Right, you have to respect someone over the top. Yeah, absolutely.
Now it's got to be every drive has to be a 10-play play drive, and eventually you just make a mistake. I mean,
you got to pick up 3 or 4 first downs on the drive. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So, but the problem is, Webb, Drew Brees has been living like a king here in New Orleans for the last 20 years, 15 years since Katrina.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not, without getting political, I'm just want to tell you what's going on here on the ground in New Orleans. All right. There's just like everything in this United States these days, there's two troops.
Right.
In this case, there's the stand for the national anthem troop, and there's the not stand for the national anthem troop. I'm not saying which one is which and which one's better. I don't care. I'm cool.
That's what we're talking about.
You're Switzerland and all this shit. Okay?
Right, exactly.
What's going on in this?
We're Casablanca.
Okay? Right. So now what happened was after Drew's national anthem shit in the beginning of the season, Drew pissed off the not stand for the national anthem people.
Right. Malcolm Jenkins.
A day later, he goes back on his word.
Yeah.
So he's even pissed off the stand for the national anthem people.
Okay.
Okay. So in all the Facebook, all the social media, everything on both sides of these people are hating on Drew Brees.
Okay.
It's going to be and then so they have their in locker room meeting. All this shit goes on. Drew Brees goes back the next day and goes against what he says. You know he don't believe. Like if you come out one day this fucking strong, like, man, I just believe you should stand for the national anthem.
Right.
The next day you don't think differently.
Not the next, just because of the backlash, just because of the reaction.
What I'm saying is you don't think differently about the subject.
Sorry, because you got yelled at.
He goes in the locker room and begs for forgiveness, but in his eyes, he knows what he did, and the players that are for kneeling and that they know what he did too, and they know where he stands. And everybody's like, oh, the locker room is so much better now after all this. Yeah, but when you start losing,
right? Oh yeah,
finger at the one dude for the reason they losing. Shit goes south quick. And it's I can feel it, Webb. I can feel it building here in New Orleans, Webb.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. Drew Brees had an awesome career, incredible career, Hall of Fame career. But this shit is going to catch up to him if they lose another game or two and Brees has a big pick in a big situation like it did. Man, how many times you see Drew Brees right before the end of the half, get the ball, go down, at least get a field goal. This time he throws the interception. Raiders get the field goal. All of a sudden the momentum's on a Raiders side.
Yeah.
He's going to be in a bad spot. You can almost see it in his eyes in the press conferences. He's fighting it. He knows he's not able to do this.
Yeah, that was a bad look, that press conference. He was kind of dealing the blame around there a little bit, you know.
He usually says the right things.
Yeah.
I just feel like this locker room is not as tight knit as they say it is, and always what brings that out is not winning. You know, you can sweep that shit under the rug if you're 5-1. But now you play Green Bay this week.
Right.
Maybe 1-2. I don't know. Usually the Saints are pretty good about bouncing back, but we'll see what happens. I'm just afraid that as great of a career as Drew Brees has had and as great as of a citizen he's been for the city of New Orleans and whatever, man, the tarnish is off this.
Yeah, the bloom is off the rose here, man. Well, he should have just stuck to his. First of all, he shouldn't have said shit. That's the first thing.
First of all, you shouldn't have said shit
right.
about it.
And then second of all, just say it and own.
Right.
Whatever. Now you're just a flip-floppy asshole. Now not only are you're just a pussy now. So not only that, now you have no conviction.
I'm
so
saying, it's a shame that there's two things about everything these days.
Right.
But there is.
Right.
And he's on the wrong side of both of them.
Oh, yeah, right.
So that's what's going on there. So all right, we can start doing our picks. I think, unless there's some things. Oh, hey, we got NHL hockey 1-1, big game tonight. Stars and Lightning.
Yeah, we have the Stars,
as I like to spell.
Lightning. Yeah, the Lightning. Makes me nuts.
It's
like Duck instead of saying fuck in the text. Yeah.
But and then we got Major League Baseball, Webb. Well, actually, the two down in the Final Four in NBA. Man, the Nuggets are giving the Lakers everything they can handle. It hurt me.
Good series. Yeah, I knew that. But that was a good game. I mean, again, that's one they could have probably won. I'm glad to see they came back and fired off a little bit in Game 3, right? Yeah. And that the other series, that Boston is a they just impressed me each day. The Heat. I just like the 1-9, the players that come out, how they play. I like the coach. I didn't give him too much credit. I think Spolster for most of his career, but obviously he's doing a hell of a coaching job this year. Boston too. They got some players, and and he's a good coach. They don't have that real superstar. I looked at something today that made me almost have a heart attack. Kemba Walker makes like $32 million. The dude and all those guys. That dude. Thrice makes $6 million. It's just crazy the amount of money these guys make, but that's an aside. But the playoffs have been good. I think I did put a little money on the Heat to win it all. I think plus 500, but I did already have the Lakers in there. I'm rooting for the Heat to win this all, but we'll see. We are on the Heat tonight plus the 3.5, and then I think I'm going to go again tomorrow with. I'm going to go one more time. I think with the Nuggets. This will be the only time I didn't cover was that first game.
So let's move on.
Let's bring up the Major League playoffs before I forget. How about it starts a week from yesterday, the 29th is the the wild card game. So it's going to be at the whatever 1 through 8, and those numbers are. So they're going to be home games there. 3 games. They're going to start them, I think, Smitt, at noon. So noon Eastern time, 9 o'clock out in Vegas. They're going to play all day through these first 4 series, or I guess there's 3 on each side, so six series. How awesome is that? It's going to just be like the beginning of the hockey. It's like baseball starting going from noon to midnight every day for like 3 or 4 days while these series last. And then it rolls right in. October 5th starts the division series, I guess. And that's every game is going to be either televised on MLB, Fox, TBS, or I think even ABC may pick up some games I read. So it's going to be awesome. So from here on in, we're going to have sports Literally starting next Tuesday, I think every day down and then even college football is going to start Thursday and Fridays again. So we got a good piece of time coming up.
Right. Yeah, it was actually starting to feel like with the NBA down to 4 teams and with hockey down to 2.
Yeah.
It started to feel like, oh man, we're starting to get to that point where we just got some sports on the weekends, but now with MLB playoffs getting going, it's gonna be awesome. There's still, even right now, man, some teams are fighting for their lives right now. So you got some teams clinched in the American League. Tampa Bay and the Yankees have clinched. The White Sox, Twins and Indians have clinched, and Oakland has clinched. So that leaves, I guess, 2 more spots left on that side. And then in the National League, hardly anybody. I mean, we got Atlanta, the Cubs, the Dodgers, and the Padres have clinched, and the rest of it's just a crapshoot.
Yeah.
So
I'm even like the San Francisco Giants are teams that never thought they'd have a chance are still in it.
Hey, my Marlins are still there, bro.
Yeah. And the thing that's going to be cool about it too, talking about the Cowboys being 1-1, is there's an extra wild card team this year as well in the NFL. So they're going to give us some even more to root for. It'll be more exciting down as we get into that. It's the dog days of that after Christmas and stuff. But it's great to, I don't know, and I love the fact that it's just more into it with a bunch of stuff we can do. But it's funny how the NBA and the NHL, they're starting to space these games out now. Before it was games every day, every night. Now it's like 3 or 4 days in between.
They don't want it to end now. They don't want it to end
milk now. Exactly. Milk that money. Yep, no doubt. That's funny how they did that.
All right. So that pretty much covers our league recaps from last week. I think we're ready to, first thing we can do, Webb, is go right into the chicken picks. That's usually the nationally televised games each week.
Let's do the
those ones that we're going to do this week, we're going to do the Thursday night game. And that's going to be...
What's going on with these Thursday night games, Smitt? We got Miami, Jacksonville this week, and I think next week is like the Jets and the Bengals.
They just put garbage. There's some garbage got to be on. Last week was the Bengals and Browns. They got to give some teams some primetime games. I guess they throw them a Thursday night bone. That's what they do.
I mean, that's just one win. I mean, this team has one win right up between these 2 teams, and next week they're going to have no wins. Team's going to have no wins. It's crazy.
And there'll still be no wins by next week, too.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, we got Jacksonville is favored by a field goal over the Dolphins in game 1, Webb.
Yep. -3, -105. I mean, I'm waiting. We're waiting for the Dolphins that we saw, in November or whatever, the last year. There it is.
Coming through. That thing's getting louder. I think it's coming. Is it coming closer to your house or what?
Yeah, maybe the house is sinking. I don't know.
All right, to me, Webb, I think the Dolphins would probably be a good play here, getting points, but I'm not going against our boy again. Not on a garbage Thursday night game. I'm not saying bet the house on this. I say we ride with our boy.
Yeah, that's an easy enough. The Dolphins are banged up too. I know Byron Jones, their ex-Cowboy, they gave him $1 bazillion. I think $80 million guaranteed. Cornerback, dude has one more career interception than you and I combined, Smitt. They gave him $80 million guaranteed. He's out. So, yeah, I got no problem rolling with Dirk Diggler. He played well again last week. We're going to have to be ride or die with him here for a while, I think, until he starts shitting the bed again.
All right, we'll go with Jacksonville. This will be the time when he finally.
Right. We'll put the Maloik on him, no doubt.
Okay, so and in the other game we got the chickens picking is the Bears and the Falcons.
I mean, I'm sure I know where you're going with this one. I cannot see the Bears going 3-0. I just can't see it.
Yep. I'm okay with taking the Falcons to kind of a bounce back game. Just have to win by a field goal. You got to think they're going to be able to score some points. And man, the Bears. It seems like the Bears have been doing this my whole life, just not being good and being 2-0. My whole fucking life. This is what the Bears. This is what the Bears do. I guess they play D and somehow find the way to.
They just paid the running back. Why did they do that? Like, dude, I don't understand what's going on in Chicago. But yeah, no, let's go against them. Let's take the Falcons. Right. Let's see what happens there.
Falcons laying. So we got Jacksonville -3, Falcons -3, and then the late afternoon game, I believe, is going to be your Cowboys, Webb. Your Cowboys getting points from the Seahawks.
I got +5 here. I'm going to just go on an over 56. I love the over in this game. I'm going to go with a contrarian pick here and take the Cowboys +5, just based off of Seattle's missing Bruce Irvin, their best linebacker. They're just playing, it's just contrarian, just kind of go the opposite here. Not for any reason. I don't think the Cowboys are going to win, but I think, this could be a late garbage time, down by 10, score a touchdown.
Well, I'm with you too. And we talked about how well Cam threw the ball the other day. To me, I can't imagine that was all because of Cam. Maybe Seattle's got some holes in that defensive secondary that we don't quite know about. I think they had a couple injuries. A couple guys went down early in that game. And so I'm okay with taking the Cowboys and some points in this one. Cool with that. Cool. And then Sunday night game, Webb, we got the Packers are laying a field goal the Saints are laying a field goal to the Packers.
This is difficult here too. What's Michael Thomas's status?
I think he's out. I mean, they haven't said for sure. It's a high ankle sprain. You usually don't. That's
weeks.
Right.
I'm going to take the +3 here. Just take the points with the hotter quarterback, and they're just on fire. I wouldn't be surprised one way or the other here, but I'd rather take 3 than lay 3.
Yep, I'm cool with taking the Packers all day. I don't understand where this line is really coming from, other than there's no home field advantage. Other than your reputation is the only. I mean, there's no home field.
Right, exactly. What would the line be if there was they would be getting 6? I
think even if it was a real home field, it was 3. It would be 3.
Right. So that line is false to me.
Right. And then the Monday night game, Webb, similar situation. To me, if you're going to give me this team and give me points, I'm taking them all day long. I know the Baltimore Ravens. Maybe you disagree. I know Baltimore Ravens are very good, but if you're gonna, I know Kansas City looked like they struggled last week and maybe haven't looked as great as they have in the past or whatever. But it's 2 games in. If you're gonna give me Mahomes and 3.5 or 4 points or 3 or whatever this ends up being, I'm gonna take it and take my chances.
Yeah, I agree. It's easy. I'm not a Ravens fan. That's easy enough. Yeah, if you give me over, more than a field goal here. The Chiefs look like they were trying to lose that game last week. And again, I'm not the biggest Ravens fan. I'm not sure, how they do it either. So I'll take the points. No problem.
What you got there? 3.5, right about now?
3.5. Yep, 3.5.
All right. So, here's what we're going to do, everybody. If you're listening just on one of the audio things, I'll just come right back and tell you what the Chickens picked. If you're watching on YouTube, you get to watch it. So it's no bullshit. The Chickens are really picking this shit.
That's right.
All right. So, everybody, we're going to take you out to Bohannon Family Farms, and here's the chick picks. I'm going to do this real quick.
Here you go, wager makers. Here's the picks this week. Getting ready to take the lead, you bunch of losers.
Oh, Miami. Oh, Chicago. Saints. Seattle.
I'm going to do this real quick, and then that'll be my signal to when I'm editing to cut back and forth. So, all right, welcome back. That was the Chickens picking, and now we're gonna. Well, we got us and the Chickens could not be further off this week.
All right, well, good. We can get some separation.
Right. So we're 1-0-1 with the Chickens so far. So this week, Webb, they took the Dolphins on Thursday night. Okay. That's the difference. Okay, they have the Dolphins plus the 3. They took the Bears plus the 3 over the Falcons. They took the Saints again minus the 3.
Yeah, they like the hometown.
It's 2 times in a row. They took
homers.
The Saints,
homers.
Right? And they took Chickens are homers. Seattle is laying 5. They took the Seahawks, and they took the Ravens at home, laying the 3.5 on Monday night. So we got all 5.
All 5. All right. 5-0.
This will be a do or die fucking situation on this one.
That's right. Put some distance or really be behind.
All right. So that's the picks this week. We got Jacks, Falcons, Packers, Cowboys, and KC. Now let's go. I guess we'll go right into the rest of the NFL games, and then we'll get in a few minutes. We'll go to the college.
Sounds good.
All right. So the next game up, I really like this game, Webb. The Rams have been really good. The Bills have been really good. Man, Josh Allen, Webb. I mean, he's really coming into his own. He doesn't get as much fanfare up there, because he's done a lot of running and stuff like that. 400 plus yards passing last week he even had.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that. The Bills, to me, are easy to root for here. I got 2.5. They're both 2-0, correct? I know the Bills are 2-0, right?
You were on the Rams a couple times already this year. Well, actually, I think I was on the Cowboys in game one. But I liked the Rams last week, and they beat the crap out of Philly. But I think they go back on the road this week, and I think the Bills are just solid, man. I think the Bills can win this game.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I would take the Bills. I mean, minus the 2.5, gun to my head. That's what I would do. I would stay away from the total, probably 47. I would take the Bills.
Yep. Okay. Next game, kind of a crapper. That team they call the Washington team goes to the Browns.
This is a weird one too. The Browns are not very good. I mean, they got a couple of players. That game, I think, kind of exposed them a little bit last week. Now, the Washington football team, I don't know, they're not world beaters there fucking either. So +7. I'm going to just go contrarian here, I think, with this, just off of that Washington defensive line and go similar to last Thursday night's game and maybe a backdoor cover by the other team. So I'll take the 7 here. But again, this is not an A game either for me.
Not a player for us. Okay. Next one, Webb. I told you how surprised I was at the Vikings, and now somehow they're only getting 2.5 from the Titans. I guess maybe that's another case of just expecting them to win or play better at some point.
This is another weird one. Yeah, I mean, are they going to go 0-3 in Tennessee? Tennessee's 2-0? I mean, based off of that, I would take the 2 points with the Vikings here, I think, and I would go under 49. It probably would be my play on this one, but I will play that. That is a play.
I think that's one that we can. I think that's a player for us. Under Titans.
Yep. And then if you have to, I'd take the Vikes plus the 2, buy it to 3.
All right. But I don't think that's a real
certainly
player. But I think under Titans is a play. No doubt. I like that. Yep. Next, the Raiders obviously looked real good on Monday night, and then they go on the road to the Patriots, who also looks good Sunday night, but didn't get the win. But they're laying nearly a touchdown, I believe. 6 points minus 120 here. This to me is a setup game. This is a trap for everyone, public bettors. This may be a sharp play. I probably will play the Patriots on this one. Off a loss, they probably should have won. The Raiders looked good, but I don't know that they're that good. We'll see. But I take the Patriots if gun to my head here, minus the 6. Right. I think the Raiders are. I mean, I usually go against a team that looks real good on Monday night, and then they go on the road the following week. But I think this is one I'm going to kind of. We'll come back to this one if it's if we have too few plays, but I'm not sure about this one. I think the Raiders might be pretty good, but
they did the same shit last year. They started out and they ended up 8-8. So I don't trust them. I certainly don't trust John Gruden. They started off the season with injuries, and I don't know that their defense is that good. This is going to be kind of a pissed off Patriots and cross country. They just got cross country after that emotional. That stadium is always, like I said, the Cowboys have done it 4 or 5 times and lost every time they've opened a stadium. So that's typically the team that opens their stadium wins. So, but I get it. We could pass on it. That's fine.
All right. Next we got this is a funny one. We got the 49ers go back to MetLife Stadium. I don't know if they stayed in New York or not. Probably would have been a good idea to do that, other than the guys flying back for MRIs and shit.
Right.
With the Giants, I think the Niners are just too. It's just everybody's just too banged up to play this game almost.
I don't know what's going to happen in this game. The Giants have absolutely no one to scare you with that. They just signed Devontae Freeman to run the ball. Their offense just sucks. Their defense just sucks. And the Niners, I mean, if Jimmy G doesn't play, they are used to playing without him. I think he missed some games last year. I don't see what's going to happen here. I got 47.5, I think. Is that 47 or 41? 41.5. Okay. I'm going to pass. I'm going to skip on this game, but if I had to, I'd take the Niners just based off of the pedigree.
Next game, I don't know. We might disagree on this one. The Eagles host the Bengals, Webb.
Eagles -5. Bengal. Man, these are tough. This is even tougher. That's why we're saying it's tough for suicide. In this one, you're probably going to go, Joe, bro. I would take the Eagles here. I don't know that they can lose again. This Bengals team they're not doing much aside from Burrow. AJ Green isn't playing well, and they just don't have many players on defense. The Eagles, between Zach Ertz, and they should be able to get something done here. Beat them by a touchdown. I would go Eagles, but again, I'm not strong on it either.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe that the Eagles would go down 0-3 to the Bengals, but I'm also afraid of that backdoor. Joe Burrow's like never give up, fucking dude.
Yeah,
and so I could easily see him doing the same thing he did to us against the Browns the week before. And look, let's face it, the Eagles, talk about a team flying along on their reputation. This team's not good.
Yeah, they haven't been good since they won the Super. Right. I mean, they're actually a playoff team last year. So, I mean,
this team's just not good. Carson Wentz is not getting the job done.
Right.
He's a turnover machine.
They're banged up too. They just lost Rieger, their receiver, and I know there's there's another locker room that's kind of
a lot of chatter going on over there.
Right.
And the Bengals are the total opposite. They're 0-2, but they're like, man, we're not going to settle for this anymore. It's not the same old shit.
Right. They're flying high. They got a quarterback.
Right. They feel like they had a moral victory 0-2.
Right.
Like,
right,
oh man, we played close. We're playing close.
They just want to get the games in and get the next year.
Right. So maybe we can come back to that one too. So the next one, we have the Steelers and the Texans.
I cannot go with the Texans in here. Pittsburgh is good. Their defense is good. Houston's offensive line sucks. They have the one player. You're never going to convince me that getting rid of DeAndre Hopkins was a smart move. I think the coach sucks. I don't know how they win the game solely based off of Deshaun Watson. I'm going to take the Steelers here.
Yeah, I think they relied so much on Deshaun Watson, but that offensive line and no weapons, and that Steelers D is too good, man.
It's good.
As good as Deshaun Watson is, he ain't winning this one by himself.
No.
So, and the Steelers will do enough offensively they'll score 24, 27 points, something like that somehow. Maybe get a defensive touchdown. I think
that'll be enough.
I think this is another case of Houston on the reputation and Deshaun Watson that's why it's only 4 and not 6 or 7.
Well, Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger didn't play too good last week, or play too well, whatever.
He didn't cover against Denver.
No, but they, I had them. I had a lot of winners and no covers. But again, this is a different number. This is 4 at home. I think they'll be okay with this.
I agree. I like the Steelers in this spot.
Yeah, we could take them.
Next, we talk a lot of shit about the Jets. Colts had a nice. What did they do last week?
They smacked somebody. Their defense played well.
Yeah, that was the Vikings. All
right.
So, the Jets go there and they're catching 10.5, man.
I got 11 here. I cannot take the Jets, so that by default I have to go. The defense for the Colts played good. I mean, clearly they can beat up some bad teams, and the Jets are, if not the worst, the top 3 worst teams in the NFL, from the owner down to every player. It's going to be 10. Even the Jets come. If you see your first score is 7-0, it's going to be 31-17. I can't take the Jets, so by default I'll take the Colts.
All right, I'm not taking the Colts. I actually like the Jets in this spot. I think the Colts have played decent in their first 2 games, but they lost to Jacksonville in game 1. Yeah, they look good. Yep. They got some turnovers and shit from our boy Kirk Cousins last week, so their score probably was blown out of proportion a little bit. The Jets aren't good, but I'm not ready to take the Colts laying double digits to any NFL team, so we might have to stay away from that one. Moving on, you talked a little bit about this Herbert. I guess he'll be leading the Chargers for a while. They said that, I think Tyrod Taylor probably has right for a lawsuit or something.
They're talking to the NFPA about everything. It's unbelievable. I mean, they did say it's an iffy procedure, but I mean, come on.
They do it every week.
Right.
Somebody's got broken ribs that they stab them with the damn.
Right. They numb them up, cortisone them up.
Right.
I don't know that Carolina without McCaffrey, that's going to be a vastly different team, and they give up a ton of points. I'll go with Herb. I can't take the cross country team just based on the flight. I can't take Carolina either. So it's, just based off of that, I'll lay the 6.5.
We might have to wait. I think let's move on. I like the next one. Let's say that I like the next one. The Buccaneers travel out to Denver. Tampa Bay looked a little better last week, and they take on the Broncos, who will be played without Locke and without a lot of handful of other guys.
Von Miller, without Cortland Sutton. This one is an easy one. The Buccaneers will win this one and cover. They're just starting. They're going to get better and better. They're starting to kind of figure it out, and they haven't even figured out how to get the tight ends into the game yet. But they can throw the ball. Mike Evans seems to, if him and even if he and if it's just him and Brady, they'll hand the ball off. They'll get some. As long as they can handle the altitude, which I think they can, they're going to win this game. Kind of going away. The Broncos. They're not going to score. Like I said, they just signed Blake Bortles. I can't see them doing really anything. They didn't scare me to begin with, but this one's kind of an easy one for me.
I would be okay laying 6 to this team if everybody was all healthy.
Exactly.
Right. The next one, I don't understand this point spread. Maybe you can explain it to me. It's almost one of those ones you lay away from because to me it looks too good to be true. The Detroit Lions go to the Arizona Cardinals. Webb.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I got 5.5 here. I don't know, 5.5 and 55.5. I don't know what to do with this one. I mean, Arizona does look good. Detroit is 0-2, right? And is Arizona 2-0?
Yes.
That scares me. I'm going to stay away from this game. I don't. Arizona's going to be 3-0, and I don't know that it's going to.
I think Arizona's good, dude. I mean, I'm just telling you, like we might. To me, I think Arizona's good. We might as well get on them before people believe. Is what I think. But we can wait. We can wait and see. But we're running out of games. We already said we're cool with taking the Cowboys.
Yeah, and the over. I love the over in that game. That's going to be that. They're going over 56.
So Cowboys plus about 5, right?
Plus 5.
And then over 50. Cowboys.
Yep. And we got the under in that one in the Titans.
Yep. And then we said we take the Packers. And then the Monday night game is we take the Chiefs. I'd really like to throw the Cardinals in there.
Go ahead. That's all right. I got nothing.
We'll see. What we have so far.
Let's
see.
This
is what we have Jacksonville Thursday night.
Yep.
We have the Falcons.
Yep.
We have under Titans. We have the Steelers. Yes. We have Tampa Bay. We have the Cowboys, over Cowboys, Packers, and Chiefs. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9 plays. I really like the Arizona.
All right, so we'll make it an even 10. Let's see how they do.
10 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fair enough. 10 games. We're in. We got our chicken picks in. We got our things. Let's move over to college real quick before we get out of here. The time zips by on us now.
It goes fast now. There's a lot. It's a lot different when there's shit to talk about.
Right. I don't even have to play the guitar anymore. Actually, I don't think I've played it. I haven't played it all since the sport started.
Yeah.
So not even on the show, just in real life. I just all of a sudden I lay here and watch sports instead of playing guitar.
That's right. No time, right?
Right. Yeah. Watch like I couldn't play guitar while watching a game. I got to be. All right. So. I looked at these games, man. I'm gonna need some help because this is looks like some really tough games in this week. Obviously, SEC gets started this week, and nobody knows who's who, what's what. So it'd be difficult. But we start out with a game Thursday night. I don't know if you feel like doing any of this Thursday and Friday. UAB versus South Alabama, and then Friday is Middle Tennessee.
What's South Alabama's record? Do you have it there?
1-1. Both teams are 1-1. So
I like UAB. UAB is going to win this game. I like them -7.
You like UAB -7? I'm cool. And it's a Thursday night game. We'll go UAB -7. Friday night is Middle Tennessee.
They suck. What's
0-2?
Yeah, they suck.
Texas San Antonio is 2-0.
This is an easy one. The UTSA.
UTSA.
That's
laying another touchdown, basically.
Middle Tennessee State is horrendous.
There we go. So maybe this week isn't as difficult as I thought.
Just leave it to me.
Yeah. That's an easy one. All right, so maybe this week isn't as tough as I thought. Going down, do you see any games off the top of your head, or should we just go one by one? Or
next one I got here, we can probably run from it. Florida at East Carolina. I can read them off here. Central Florida -27.5 at East Carolina, and the total is 77. I'm going to stay away from that one. That's a high total to me. I don't know how much East Carolina is going to score. If it had to, I'd go under, but we could skip that one. unless you feel strongly.
I thought UCF looked like the UCF of old last week, and that was against Georgia Tech, and they even left some points on the board, I thought, last week. I think East Carolina's given them some problems in the past. I think UCF's not going to look past them, and I would lay 4 touchdowns in this game, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough. That's an early game too, so that's noon. All right. I got Georgia State at Charlotte here. Georgia State -3. Charlotte is up and coming, but they've had a couple of COVID games. I'm going to punt on this one. Next one I have here on the board is Miami -11, Florida State, and 54. And the coach has COVID, right? The fucking coach of Florida State has COVID. Florida State sucks, dude. I mean, I don't know. They get one. They're 0 against a 2-0 Miami team.
I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of either. I'm certainly not a fan of Florida State, but coming off that big win the other night, I just don't know. I know they beat. What's the line? What's the line in this game?
11.
I could take.
I tell you what. What? Go ahead.
I can see Miami winning by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I would not take Florida State. I'll say that.
No, I'm not taking Florida State. But I can tell you this already. We're laying wood for days already early on.
That's all right. Let's see what we got here.
All right.
Georgia Tech at Syracuse -8. Georgia Tech seems to get beat up right every week, or did they win?
They're
their first
1-1.
game?
I'll tell you what. Yeah. They got a really good quarterback, a young quarterback.
That's what we were saying. That's right.
Plays.
That's right.
Really run, make plays. Syracuse's ones get beat up every week, but I think this kid playing quarterback for Georgia Tech's pretty good.
This is funny. Like these teams, this is just like these are all just kind of cannibalizing each other. Like you say, they're all kind of beating each other up here, which is it's almost like a MAC schedule. I got no feeling either way. I got no problem taking Georgia Tech. I probably would not take Syracuse. I would either take Georgia Tech or pass.
I think Syracuse came up a little closer in their game against Pitt the other day, but still got beat maybe by 11 or something like that. But Georgia Tech, to me, they impressed me a little bit against UCF to a certain extent. Obviously, to a certain extent, they got beat up pretty bad. But
right,
all right.
So skip that one. Next one I got here is Louisville +3 at Pittsburgh. Totals 55. My inclination here is to go back with Louisville here. I don't think Pittsburgh's anything, but Louisville maybe learned something last week. I was a fan of that quarterback prior to this. This is a game a little contrarian to this is a sharp play versus a public play. I would take Louisville plus the points.
I agree, actually. I like I mentioned the other day, I don't think Louisville has the beef up front to play with the real big boys, but they got speed all over the place to beat the shit out of some like middle of the road teams.
Yeah, and Narduzzi tries to get cute all the time.
Pitt is not a big boy. They try and act like they are, but I think Louisville has the players on the outside to really come up. The only issue would be a letdown after this Miami game.
Yeah, I don't see.
I like Louisville to bounce back, especially getting a few points. They can score. This team can score.
Yeah.
This team.
And then Narduzzi too. He's anything but tough. His teams always try to get cute with some kind of trick play. He doesn't punch anybody in the mouth, and I think that's kind of what would hurt Louisville. So I like Louisville.
All right, cool. Next,
Tennessee -3.5 at South Carolina. There's big expectation for Tennessee this year. South Carolina is down. I don't know that they have a quarterback. This one to me seems easy. Tennessee -3.5. Total's 43.5. That's way low. But I don't know how much South Carolina is going to score. I like Tennessee -3.5.
I like Tennessee as well on this one. Actually, that's one of the few games in the SEC that I really picked out and said that's a play. Some of the others were like, man, I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to wait and see what some of these teams. Who else you got? So far we got UAB and UTSA. That's the night games, and then we got UCF, Miami, Louisville getting a few, and then Tennessee laying a few.
Yeah, and then this one here, Baylor's 17.5 at home against Kansas. Kansas sucks. Fuck Kansas. I don't have a problem. I mean, if you want to punt, I could. I'm with that. But Kansas sucks. I think we were on them that first week. It was embarrassing.
They got beat the shit out of.
It was over. The first score I saw, the game was over. Les Miles, I don't know what's going on there. I've been expecting them to be better here for 2 years. Baylor is usually good, right? I mean, have they played? I think they got a COVID game.
No,
right?
this is they have not been on the field yet. So
I'm going to stay away from this one then. That's based off of that. Although, if you had to, I don't know that that's a bad play, Baylor, minus 17.5.
Agreed.
Next one I have is Troy plus 14 at BYU. What did Troy do last week?
Troy's 1-0. BYU, we saw that game against Navy. They beat the crap out of and the Troy team, they beat Middle Tennessee. They beat your Middle Tennessee State.
I like BYU here minus 14 because they look good. They look pretty good. I was fairly well. I mean, it wasn't as impressed as I was going to be. They played pretty well against a Navy team that came out and played very surprisingly well last week. So I think BYU's safe minus 14 there at home.
I agree. That's one I put out too.
Next one, I got Alabama at Missouri minus 28. I mean, Missouri is down. Najee Harris is a first round pick. I think 2 receivers are first round picks. I'm sure they got some linemen. I'm just not prepared to lay 27 yet with them. It sucks to pass on this game, but I am going to pass.
Agreed. I think Missouri's even having some COVID issues, but 4 touchdowns first week of the season. You just don't know. You just don't know what.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see a 55-10 here, but there's other stuff to go around. Especially we got some other night games, but it does suck to pass on it. But I'm going to have to pass for this game only, maybe. This one's interesting. Next one, West Virginia plus 7 at Oklahoma State, and the total's 51. They got the running back for Oklahoma State. And West Virginia, are they 2-0? They've looked pretty good. I think they scored
1-0. 1-0 West Virginia.
Okay.
They beat Eastern Kentucky 56-10, and Oklahoma State over Tulsa 16. They struggled last week against Tulsa, 16-7. I'm not sure where the favored by a touchdown over West Virginia comes in, unless West Virginia is just really a down year, or they got COVID issues, or what.
Well, they lost their quarterback. No, I don't know actually. I don't know that we have anybody else at 3:30. I'm going to play this game. Shit.
I say we take the touchdown.
All right, fuck it. I'll take it. It's easy enough.
Why not? Go with the Mountaineers plus a touchdown. There's no reason to like last year. I'm looking even back last year. They lost to A&M in the bowl game by 3. Week before that, they lost. That's Oklahoma State. But actually, West Virginia's last game last year, where they beat TCU. They lost to Oklahoma State last year by 7. I don't know what. They'd have to fall off the map at this point to be laying 7 to them.
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. It's fine. Right. Let's take it. I got it. No, fair. Fuck it. We don't need no reason.
All right.
Next one I got is Florida minus 14 at Ole Miss. Now, this is Lane Kiffin, right, at Ole Miss?
Yes, right?
Yes. So that's interesting. I mean, I don't know if he's good, but they are both ranked, I believe. So this is going to be closer. I don't know if Florida covers these games. This is a noon game. Again, I'm passing on these SEC games. We do have some other action at noon, I believe. I'm going to pass.
I'm not ready. Florida probably wins this game. But easily you could see Florida getting in one of those like kind of lower scoring.
Yeah, right. 21.
Where if they don't come up with that punt return or whatever, maybe they don't come. Maybe they win by 10.
Yeah. I would probably
hoping for that interception return.
If I had to in this game, I would take the points probably. In 57, I'd probably stay under that. Yeah. Next game is Georgia Southern at UL Lafayette. UL Lafayette minus 11.5 and 51. I don't know. We love those Louisiana teams, so I don't.
But we like them. I like them in the dog position.
Yeah,
you know what
points.
I mean.
Yeah.
They had that big win against Iowa State in week 1, and so you're thinking, oh, they're really good, and then they were laying like double digits to I think it was Georgia State last week, and then they ended up going into overtime and needed overtime to beat them. So I think they'll probably win this game. 12. I think this is a stay away. I like these Louisiana teams when they're catching points from the big boys.
Next one, K-State plus 28 at Oklahoma. No way I'm taking K-State, but that's 4 touchdowns here. What's the guy's name? Rattler is the quarterback, right, for Oklahoma, the rookie?
Yeah, I think I'm staying away from this one. 4 touchdowns is an awful lot. Kansas State looked terrible, and they were one of those big upsets week 1.
Yep. Staying away, no doubt.
Staying away from that. Arkansas State they lost to, but
Georgia Tech is next. Excuse me, Georgia at
Right.
Arkansas. Georgia minus 26 points. They are not starting to transfer. I heard they're not starting to transfer from USC, JT Daniels. They're going to start the kid from last year. I don't know what Arkansas has or doesn't have, but I'm not comfortable laying 4 touchdowns, 26 points on the road. Game 1 here. Georgia probably is going to have one of the best defenses in the country. I'm just not ready for it yet. I haven't seen any of these teams play. That's tough. I'm going to stay away from this one too. It sucks. Let's stay away from these SEC games.
Yeah, it's like all the big games are here, but man, these lines are tough.
But it's just sight unseen. It's real hard. Next one I have is Texas minus 18 at Texas Tech. What team is Mike Leach coaching? Mississippi State?
Mississippi State. That's the LSU game this week. We can get into that a little bit in a second.
All right. What did Texas Tech do last week?
Texas Tech won, but I don't think it was very impressive, right? Texas Tech won by 2.
I'm close to
Houston Baptist.
All right, I'll take Texas minus the 18. They're going to let Erlinger throw the ball around. They're going to try to flex some muscles here, get him in his Heisman race, maybe steal a Heisman in this fucked up year. And they're going to try to make a move, Texas. I think that they have big aspirations, a lot of expectation there always. They're going to run it up, so I would take that.
Yeah, I like Texas.
Next one, Iowa State minus 2.5 at TCU. Both disappointing teams. TCU doesn't have a quarterback. I'm going to go with Iowa State here just as a bounce back, kind of living up to just kind of not souring on them based off of our early season miscues on them. But I think they win that game. Covered after 2.5. All right, here's our next game. Mississippi State plus 16.5 in Baton Rouge. The Bayou Bengals.
Mike Leach can do crazy things. I don't know if he's got the quarterback to do it there. Mississippi State lost their starting quarterback from last year. In fact, I think he's on the Saints practice squad right now.
Oh, okay.
So he's starting new quarterback, new offense. Obviously, Mike Leach goes hand in hand with our boy Dirk Ligler as just characters that
just whacked out. He's right in there with Lane Kiffin. Who knows? He'll throw the kitchen sink at you here. If I had to, I would take the points in this game, but I'll stay away too. And again, it sucks, but
I would love to make a play on this game one way or another. I think let's just wait and see what these teams look like.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. LSU obviously coming off the ridiculous year. Their quarterback has been on the team for years and never really gotten a chance to play. This is his big shot, but 17 points again. You could see this being an ugly, end up getting an ugly game. I don't know. I don't have a good
stay away. I don't know. And they lost a
bunch
lot.
Of plays.
They lost a
bunch of plays that we've committed to already. So
next one is Vandy plus 30.5 at A&M. That's a big number. Vandy does suck, but we'll stay away from this one too. I think, right? Or unless you want to take A&M, or you want to take 30.5.
Stay away.
Right, fair enough. Next one, Kentucky at Auburn, 7.5. Now, are they both ranked? Is Kentucky ranked?
No, I'm not. I'm just going. Kentucky's at 23, and I'll tell you, if they got that little kid playing quarterback that runs all over,
he plays
super great athlete.
The Raiders drafted him and traded him. He's on some other team. Okay. Lynn Bowden, you're talking about. But they got the quarterback back that got hurt that forced Bowden to play. Bowden was a wide receiver.
Right, and I like that Stoops' brothers, the coach. Correct. Right, they've been good to me over the years, especially in situations like this. They could surprise getting over a touchdown.
I agree, but 7.5 is barely over. I'm going to pass, but I get it. I wouldn't mind taking points, but I'm going to pass on this one. The next one is all over. This is supposedly an insider pick. FIU, Florida International at Liberty. Liberty is supposed to be very good. They got that dude, one of those old coaches who got kicked out of the ACC. I am on Liberty pretty heavy at -7 in this game. I don't know if anyone wants to play it, but that's everything I read and some of the handicappers I follow. So this is the game. So
I'm in. I'm in. Liberty -7. Why not? What the hell else we got?
All right. Next we got Tulane at Southern Miss. I'm pissed off at Tulane.
What a fucking letdown.
To go to school there. Yeah, I'm staying away from. Tulane point on the road after that bullshit last week. Fuck them. I'm not touching it.
All right. Fair enough.
Couple more here. There's a 3:30. We got Army. This is interesting. Army plus 13.5 at Cincinnati. Army's 2-0, right? And they blew out a couple of teams, I think, right?
I mean, Cincinnati's usually good, but Army usually gives. Let me see where we're at with Army and Cincinnati. Yep, 2-0. Cincinnati's 1-0.
I'm going to stay away
Army
from this one.
shit out of Louisiana Monroe and Middle Tennessee State.
Yeah, they're horrible. So if I
And
had
I think
to, I'd take
Louisiana
Cincinnati.
Monroe was had a lot of COVID issues, but and then Cincinnati beat Austin P. So you really can't say. But I'd be okay taking Army with a bunch of points in this. How many points did they get?
13.5. I mean, if you want to take some points, this is probably the one.
The Cadets,
right? The Cadets, yep. The Black Knights, maybe I think it is.
Black Knights, yeah.
I think that's what it is, right? I mean, that's fine with me. I just hope they keep it close. I mean, they're going to fight for sure.
Yeah, why not? Army plus 7.
We've got someone plus, right? The next one we got UTEP at this famous UL Monroe. UL Monroe's laying 9.5. How's that possible? I'm going to show you how bad UTEP must be. I don't think it's necessary to play on this game, but if you have any knowledge on UL Monroe,
I don't. And again, I like them as
a dog. Yeah, I agree.
No, we're already at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 college plays.
All right, yeah, it's fast.
And not that it ever stopped us to do more than that if we liked them, but I think we're kind of picking and choosing here.
Yeah, right.
I don't think there's any that we said, oh man, we got to play this fucking game.
Right. Yep. And
so
we did.
I think we showed great restraint, not playing a whole bunch of these. The only really SEC game we do like, and I like, and we both agreed that we like Tennessee over, I believe it's South Carolina.
Yes, Tennessee. Yes, that's.
So we got, just so you know, we got UAB, UTSA, UCF, Miami, Louisville, Tennessee, BYU, West Virginia, Texas, Iowa State, Liberty, and Army.
I do like BYU. I do like Liberty. And those Thursday and Friday night games I like a lot too. There's 3 more games here. Let's just cover them and be done. Duke at Virginia, -5.5. Virginia. I'm not sure how they are. Have they played? What's Duke's? I bet against Duke, I think, at least once.
Yeah, well, we bet against them probably in Notre Dame, and Notre Dame didn't cover.
Yep.
We bet, and then I think we were on them last week, if I'm not mistaken, and then they lost.
I'm not. Yeah, I'll stay away. And I thought Virginia.
Does Virginia still have that real good athletic quarterback, or did he go to the NFL last year?
I don't know. No, he still got to still be there. That's 5.5. I mean, that's a winnable game for them.
Right. That would be the only thing. If they still have that quarterback.
What's their record? Did they play? Have they played?
Virginia hasn't played yet.
I forget
Duke Duke lost to Boston College last week, 26-6.
Oof. Yeah, I get it's tough to. I mean, if I have to, I'll take Virginia. Depends what's going on.
I'm staying away from that.
Yep. And then we got Boston College next game, 17.5 against Texas State. I don't know why this game is even being played. Why is Texas State playing Boston College in the pandemic? But I got nothing for this one.
Yeah. Let's stick with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games.
And there's one more here on the board. I may not like NC State +6.5 VTech. VTech has not played, right?
Right. Actually, I think I like this one. We were on NC State last week.
Yes.
They pulled it out for us in the end against Wake Forest. I think that game might have went to overtime or just really back and forth all game long. But I think Virginia Tech is ranked. I think Virginia Tech is is like a different echelon team than this NC State. I'm not even sure what they have, what they don't, what they lost. Right. But I like the -7 over NC State, to be honest, even though this is their first game.
6.5. Fair enough. Fuck it, throw another one on them.
Fuck it.
Right. All right, we got a lot going on Saturday. Plus the MLB, plus the hockey, plus the.
And if you're not sure about these picks, I'll have them all on our social media. I'll pop them all up there this week.
Well, we do like in the college. We do like the Thursday night game. We do like the Friday night game. We do like Tennessee. We do like BYU. Those are coming. Some of the heavy ones. Louisville. And Liberty. Those would be the heavy ones. But we will be on the other one.
UAB, UTSA, UCF, Miami, Louisville, Tennessee, BYU, West Virginia, and Liberty. Sound good?
Yep.
All right. So there we have it. All right. I guess that's about it. Want to thank everybody for listening. Thank Wilbur Investigations, as always, for doing. If you're in Monmouth County, need a little investigation work, little tax fraud, little check bouncing, whatever shit like that you need. John Grove, thank you very much for the bumper music. Nick Perrone.
MN3 Technologies. Thank you, Nick.
MN3 Technologies. He's putting up some of the money for the college pick'em pool and for the survivor pool. Appreciate that. And if you have any technical issues up there in New Jersey, call MN3,
Absolutely.
Right? That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yep. It's
Right.
my go-to guy for everything techie.
Everything techie. Okay. So John Grove, thank you for the bumper music. iHeartRadio, YouTube. Devin's going to tell you about YouTube.
Hey guys, it's Devin. Make sure you subscribe to the Wager Makers podcast on YouTube, like all their videos, and click that bell so that you turn on your post notifications and you never miss another video.
Thank you, Devin. Google Play Music, Podbean, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher. We're going to be getting on some other things soon. You can check out our picks and our rankings at sportswatchmonitor.com. Facebook, the Wager Makers Podcast. Also, the Wager Makers Talk page, the Wager Makers Podcast, at the Wager Makers on Twitter, at the Wager Makers on Instagram. And you can email us any questions at all that you have, thewagermakers@gmail.com. Thank you all for listening. We got a lot of picks. I'll put them on a social media. Thank you so much. Tell some friends. Tell people to like, share, subscribe, all that shit. Webb, take us out.
Brick by brick, baby. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks, Thrive Sports Fantasy. Thanks, Wilbur Investigations. Thanks, MM3 Technologies. Get in the college pool. Runyourpool.com. It's 136976. 136976 is the code, and then podcast is the password, and get in there. It's the money to be made. Someone will be getting $300. Only 9 people doing it now, so you can get in it. And that's it. Cool. Peace out, Smith.